Hey there, I'm Stace, and if you love noodles, do you know you can use your slow cooker to make them? You can, and this is going to be the best recipe. So hit that subscribe key, and let's get cooking. Honey soy chicken noodles. How good does that sound? And the best bit, I want to show you in this video how to make one batch, and then to save-proof yourself for another night, make the exact same batch in one of my freezer dump bags. All you have to do is write on the bag the name of the recipe. So it's honey soy chicken noodles. My kids will definitely remind me of those. And then you want to look at how long they're going to take to cook. So if you're doing it on low, maybe you're leaving the house for a little while, do it for 6 hours. And on high, you'll be ready in 3 hours. And what I also add onto this dump bag is anything that I need to add at the time of cooking. So for this one, nothing that I can't add in here, but times that if I need to be adding a lot of broth, I tend to write that in. And then I'm gonna say plus serving sides. This sides, there is a lot of extra veg that I add in at the end with the noodles because I want these to have flavor. The great thing is if you love this kind of idea of making these freezer dump bags, I have a slow cooker course that can take you through exactly how to do this with recipes enough for a full month so that all you need to do is give me 1 hour, careful with the knife, Stace, 1 hour every week and you will have enough meals prep for your slow cooker in these freezer dump bags. So that's 7 of them in that 1 hour. It's genius. The link for it is below. But let's get going on these honey soy noodles now. What you need is you need an onion. Now you could use my fancy chopper and you've probably seen that in a stack of my recipes here on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed. But this one I want to be adding in a bit of a different texture. So I'm going to slice these nice and thin. Perfection. Straight into the cooker there, baby. And then let's do the exact same thing for our freezer dump bag. I'm putting the peels of my onion and any other veg that I'm going to prep. I'll be doing some garlic for sure, carrots, things like that. I put these all into a bowl for ease because I'm not turning around to the bin all the time. But also I like to keep them, and when I am going to make chicken broth, I use all of these ends to flavor it. It makes for such a delicious stock. So we have an onion in there and an onion in here. Next bit is that we need some garlic. So the recipe calls for 4 cloves. I am going to use some garlic paste. I reckon that will be a tablespoon and a half. I have never done this before. I always peel my garlic. So you've got to let me know in the comments. Do you do it this way? Am I taboo or am I just being forgetting of how easy I could make life? I found it tricky, I know when I've tried to do it before, because I haven't loved the ingredients in it, but this honest to goodness one doesn't have anything funky, so it's great. I'm doing the same with ginger. Usually it's 5 centimeters of ginger, but I'm just gonna use a teaspoon of it minced. Gosh, this is speeding things up. And the next bit we wanna do is get in our chicken. The greatest thing about this recipe is I don't need to be chopping no chicken. Hallelujah. I can literally just do that. In it goes. Because I'm gonna pull this at the end. So once it's cooked, I'm then just gonna shred it. I find that this is such a brilliant technique because it means that nothing dries out in the slow cooker. We love that. We love that the prep is easier. We love that. We love that to shred it versus actually cutting it up is about 10 times quicker because that is so soft and I can literally just stick a fork in it and it's just the best. All right. So we've got our chicken there. You can use thighs for this as well. You can absolutely use breast. I'm a weirdo. My family, you have to let me know that I'm not alone. We only eat chicken breast pretty much. I know it doesn't taste as good. I know. But I just get weirded out by all those little things in it. Okay, grabbing my recipe from my website there. The next bit we need is 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. Now, this isn't a spot that you get your fancy pants balsamic vinegar out. But what I do want you to do is make sure, and I was just reading this one here, this one we got is Simon Johnson. Got this from Harris Farm, but you can get, what was it, One Creek Hill, I think it is, from Woolies. When you buy balsamic, I want you to turn it over. I want you to make sure that it's not fancy pants. And I want you to make sure mostly, jeez, this is tricky, that there is no caramel or food colorings in it, because that is something that is so common. And you just don't need it, babe. So 1/4 cup of this. This is what's gonna start making this stir fry have the sweetness, but also have that acidity. It's gonna be so well balanced, and I love it because it's gonna have such a strong color. So the kids are gonna be like, where's the wok, mum? Like, this is proper legit stir fry. Okay, and the next one you wanna add in is some either dark soy, or you might wanna add tamari or soy sauce. I find that the dark soy, again, I mean, look at the color on that. It is so thick, and it has a lot of flavor. Turn over your ingredients list, make sure that that one is good to go. I've got the Pearl River Bridge, just from Woolies. There's no crap in it. I love it. And boy, does it give you a flavor bomb. Okay, the next bit is we need to get some sweetness in there. Are you loving how I'm just tangoing between the two? I am. This is so good. I'm already excited for dinner. We're after 3 tablespoons of honey. Now, having made this recipe 85 billion times, because it's one of my kids' favorites, I can eyeball it and be like, yeah, that looks about 3 tablespoons. Because what it's going to do too is it's going to make these a little bit sticky. The chicken, which is great, and I should make sure as well that you've definitely tried my slow cooker sticky chicken. That's still the most popular recipe on my website, closely followed by the satay. It's for good reason. All right, honey, and then we need a couple of tablespoons of broth. Now, I don't have any broth on hand, so what I'm gonna do, this is always a little secret of mine, is I love whacking in a tablespoon of broth powder or chicken stock powder. This one is a chicken stock powder. It is the San Elk brand. I love it. I love that you can pronounce everything. I'm just gonna add in a tablespoon of sriracha as well, just for a little bit of heat, but the kids won't struggle with that. And then, my God, babe, I think we're there. This could be the last thing. A tablespoon of sesame oil. I'm gonna measure that one out because I don't want to go crazy. With that, oh my gosh, this is so exciting because I'm like, dinner is gonna be brilliant. And the next time I use this is gonna be brilliant. Oh, just feels so good. All right, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of pepper. And baby, you'll come to love and see this regularly in my YouTube videos. I am a big one of just checking I've got all the ingredients in there. So let's recap it. We've got our chicken, balsamic vinegar, dark soy, or tamari, soy sauce, whatever you got in the cupboard, honey, broth. Now I only put in the broth powder. See why I do this? We're after 2 tablespoons of it. So it's just to start that little bit of liquid, and you're probably looking at this being like, Stacey, are you gonna get like whole cups worth in there? No, because what's really cool with the chicken is it will naturally release so many juices, and that will be enough for this stir fry, even when I add in the veg and the noodles at the end. It'll blow your mind. All right, so we've got our broth now, sriracha, sesame oil, onion, garlic, ginger, and a teaspoon of pepper. Baby, we did it! Okay, so what's the next step? Well, you go ahead and just give this a little bit of love, give it a bit of a mix around. Why? Because this is marinating now. Like, you've got extra brownie points because as this freezes, it's going to be flavoring the chicken. As it defrosts, it's going to be flavoring the chicken. And don't we love that? Okay, so to get all the air out, I kind of just push it over. I 3/4 seal it, check that there's none in there, run the whole way along, and then I just flatten it out. I want it nice and flat like that so that it stores really easy in my freezer, whether I'm stacking them or I'm putting them this way. Done. And then you need a lid, and dinner's 3/4 done. Yay! Off to the freezer with this one. Holy dooly, this chicken is smelling out the house. Now is the easy part of prepping my veg to make this a little bit more stir fry. First up, what is that? Broccoli. I'm just cutting them into little florets. Always, always, always use a stem. The way I'm doing that is I'm cutting them into little rounds and then I chop them in half. Some capsicum, some coriander, and some sugar snap peas. All right, let's get our chicken out so we can shred it and then get the veg in. Don't you love it? That way you pull the chicken out, it's just doing all this. Oh, that one even broke in half. Okay, so in with our broccoli, our capsicum in, our sugar snaps in, and our coriander in. Stir. Before I pull the chicken, I want to get the noodles in there too. Put the lid back on that so it does its thing while I pull the chicken. Don't you love it when this job's going to take you about 25 seconds because the chicken is so perfectly cooked, you can pull it so easy. And now when the chicken goes to the rest of the stir fry, all that's left to do is grab some chopsticks, give it a taste. A gorgeous crunch because you added the veg at the end. Give this stir fry a try. Add in any noodles that you like. Heck, you could even cook it with rice at the end. Like and subscribe and check out the recipe below. And make sure if you're in slow cooker land and you want to get organized, you'll love my course. Yum. Yum. Oh yeah. Look at that. I'm using chopsticks for a slow cooker meal. It's just bonkers.